So you all know about the big hoax, the Jonathan Gruber video. You know, he admitted what the Obama administration really believed. Americans are too stupid to understand Obamacare, so let's deceive them about what's in it. The video surfaced. Gruber said he misspoke. He didn't really mean it. But then we found a second video and a third, and number 4 came out today. No. The big hoax caught on tape. Obama's architect busted, which brings us to today when Nancy Pelosi pretended today she never heard of him.
Bill commenting on what was going on when we were writing the bill, who has withdrawn some of the statements that he made. So let's put him aside.
Okay, at the beginning of that soundbite, she mentioned Jonathan Gruber. Fair enough, she didn't know him. But then how do you explain this? She quoted him on her website. Maybe a different MIT professor named Jonathan Gruber, perhaps. Or maybe an aide posted that to her web. And also, how do you explain this, Madam Former Speaker?
I don't know if you have seen Jonathan Gruber of MIT's analysis of what the comparison is to the status quo versus what will happen in our bill for those who seek insurance within the exchange. And our bill takes down those costs.
So Gruber thinks Americans are stupid. Nancy Pelosi thinks we're really, really stupid. Now, Bob, I have to start with you because, for God's sake, the Madam Former Speaker today says he wasn't a part of the bill. I didn't know who he is. Yet he was on her website, and she spoke about him in 2009.
Well, Nancy has a tendency to forget some things, but my guess is since the Congress did write most of this. But can I have 32 seconds?
Let's talk about Nancy
can I have 32 seconds?
No, yeah, after
can I have 32 seconds? That's all I ask.
Is it about Nancy Pelosi and Democrats lying about Obamacare?
About Obamacare, not lying about it.
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, I see. I get cut off again.
KG, Jonathan,
is that right?
We don't want to go through the Obamacare numbers right now.
No, of course you don't, because they're too good.
All right, KG.
I'm sorry to tell you, Eric,
yeah.
If he's not on her Christmas card list, then she really doesn't know him, okay? Now, here's the deal. It's obvious that they made a mess of this, that they know him, that he was an architect, that he was involved in it. There's numerous accounts now. The facts are in. You do not have to be a math major from MIT to figure this out, because Americans aren't stupid.
Dana, your thoughts on how this thing is? Do you believe she went to the podium today and said, I don't know him?
They do have a tendency to say things that are just proven false within 30 seconds just to do a Google search. I don't know whether they are just the staff doesn't serve them well or that the principals like Nancy Pelosi don't listen to staff. They also don't seem to protect themselves very much. And plus, they're not dealing with the heart of the matter, which is the fact that it wasn't an offhand remark by Gruber. It is a state of mind. And now we're dealing with the aftermath of it. It is curious why the Democrats don't try to replace some of this leadership, because that is not today's press conference and what Nancy Pelosi did. This is a common occurrence now. Mm-hmm. You expect this in every press conference, but they all won. Every leadership member won re-election today by their members.
Can you believe she says this?
You have to understand that who you are talking to now are the people that already pulled off the heist. Right. It's like interviewing D.B. Cooper, who's on his island wherever he is. They already got the bill across. They don't care. And if you talk to and it's why the media doesn't care, because they're the accomplices. They're the guys that drove the car that was able to get to spirit Obamacare to safety. So now that we've caught them and we knew that they were lying, to them it's just hilarious to them. And then even more so when they see that we are upset about it, they point to that as Republican vitriol, as though it's stupid that you would be upset that you were caught.
You see the Washington Post headline is that healthcare law's opponents riled anew by stupidity video.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me follow up on that, because it's amazing that you're 100% right. We are hearing about it. Bob, we'll get to you in a second. We're hearing about it, but you're only hearing about it if you're watching Fox. Fox has been telling you about the video, but what about the mainstream media? Let's take a look at the facts. Evening news broadcasts, nightly news, NBC 0, ABC 0, CBS 0. How about the morning shows? Look at that, CBS 1 today, NBC and ABC 0 East. So of all the newscasts, of all the mainstream media newscasts, you only get it one. Bob, you want to comment on this?
Can I just comment on...
No, stay on the mainstream media.
Wait. Dana said there was a failure. She said it was a failure. Can I just make a point?
Failure to show.
This is the problem here, because
I
don't get a chance to say the things that are good about this, because you always overwhelm it with this guy. It's a good story. It's a nice story. It's a dead story.
So let's talk about it. How come
Why?
It's
a waste of time. It's a waste of time. What is not a waste of time is when you people said that sick people would sign up. 80 to 85% of young people who are healthy signed up.
Is it right that
you don't want to hear that?
NBC,
Okay, sorry.
and CBS won't even show you, number one, Gruber lied, number two, Gruber called Americans stupid to get the vote through, and number three, Pelosi's
Can I ask the producers, can we have one day just to talk about what Obamacare has done right?
Yeah, Bob. We
should
have
just
time.
give you
Let's
your
go.
own show. That would be
Right.
great.
Well, the bottom line is this is a question that's been posed
Your
is
own
about
show.
the mainstream media and how they have handled this and their failure to report on a very valid, important story. Because they were complicit, like you said. They're the aiders and abettors. They're the ones that backed up the truck to the bank so the cash could be looted from the vault. Now they've made away with it. So do you think they want to uncover the facts that show that they were complicit in it? No, they're going to cover it up. They're going to black it out because that's the way they survive.
A cover-up suggests that they all got together and decided they weren't going to cover Gruber. Is that what happened?
No. They got together and they all agreed with what Gruber had been saying, which that they had to lie about this bill to get it through. The godfather of leftism, Bob, is not Karl Marx. It's P.T. Barnum. Every progressive voter in their minds is a sucker. All they have to do is lie and get it through, and that's exactly what happened. You know what? It's not the Republicans or anybody or any conservative or libertarian who were the suckers. They didn't vote for this crap.
Right.
Barnum made a mint off sideshows. He made a mint off bearded ladies and two-headed goats. But this is a three-headed snake, Obamacare. It's Pelosi, it's Gruber, and it's Obama.
It's also, according to the American Insurance Institute, 10 million new people are insured now because of Obamacare.
Bob,
10 million.
Bob, I wish I could give you the amount of emails that I get from people who have lost their health care, who have seen their rates skyrocket. They write constantly, and you ignore that.
Well, no, I don't ignore that. I put down with yesterday I was accused of the Beck Lawmaker. I came in here today prepared.
We'll get to numbers in a second. But the segment was about how the media is treating this. For the first part. Dana, how long before ABC, NBC, and CBS decide that this becomes a story?
I don't think that they probably will, or if they do, it'll be just dismissed and derisive, and you'll have to watch Fox to find out where it goes. I mean, he'll have his tenured position at MIT. But I do think that the weight of this bill, whether or not it's as great as Bob says, and we are all just too stupid to understand just how great it is. I mean, maybe I am that stupid to not understand how great the bill is, that the media will not cover it in that way, and us complaining that they're not is not going to solve the problem. I do think there are some positive things going forward. Rubio and Ryan, Marco Rubio and Paul Ryan, apparently are working on an additional piece of legislation that would deal with some of the important things, especially the employer mandate in particular. If you look at the front page of the Wall Street Journal today, there's a story by Nick Timiraos, I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's called Many Face New Normal, Part-Time Pay, Full-Time Bills. And I think what doesn't show up in any of the statistics of people that are trying to show how great the bill is, it's the weight of this bill on the economy for part-time workers who have seen their hours cut from 35 to 20, many of them single mothers who don't have the time or ability to work two jobs in order to make ends meet. And this is the drag on the economy that nobody is willing to face up to in the Democratic Party. But voters decided last week that they wanted to do something about it. So now the Republicans have to figure out a way. What can we possibly do to work with the administration to get something signed by the president that would fix this problem?
Now you can get it. Now you can.
Thank you. This is not. It's by no means a great bill. There's a lot of things that can be done to fix it, and I hope that they do amend it to fix it. And I think that makes some sense. I've said that from the beginning. I think there's a lot of things like cross state lines and that sort of thing. But the thing is that it was said that you couldn't keep your doctor or your plan. Well, a lot of people lost their plans. That's right. 85% have lost their policies now, have new policies, and they're better policies. And 50% kept their doctors.
That's not true.
Okay, that's Kaiser Permanente. I'm going to take
there's other statistics that show that their policies are not as good, that are worse, and that they're paying more.
And by the way, Bob, this all started...
You know what would be great is if they didn't have to make
What do I
this
need to do, bring God in here for a fact?
No,
you are God, Bob.
Can we just point out that, Bob, this all started when you said premiums were going down. Premiums
I was just going to explain that to you. I was going to explain that to you.
This segment wasn't about premiums. Let's do this.
Of course not.
Let's see how the White House was spinning this whole ball of mess hoax. Watch.
There was a steadfast commitment by this administration to to make sure that people had good insight into the benefits of the law. I think it's actually Republicans who haven't been particularly transparent or even honest about the true impact of those.
Gruber, Dana. Gruber says, we lied, they're stupid, but we'll get it through, but it's the Republicans who
People
weren't
forget,
transparent.
remember, this bill was actually cobbled together the night before Christmas of 2009. What happened in January of 2010, the Democrats lost their supermajority in the Senate. Therefore, they couldn't send another bill through, so they had to use the cobbled together bill, even though they planned to go through and fix it all. And apparently all these things were going to be addressed. And you had the famous quote, we have to pass it to find out what's in it. And they did, and they're paying the price for really sloppy work.
All right, quick thoughts around, Greg? Yeah? No?
Well, I don't know. Bob, I just want to ask you, imagine if this is how you bought your groceries. If you had to go to buy your groceries every day and you needed a 12-digit card, and then when you came home, there was your grocery benefits bill that said they're no longer covering milk or cookies, and you're going to have to go back and call to find out how to pay for them. And then you also found out that, milk has gone up to $500 because there are no price tags in the supermarket. This is what you see as an effective way of delivering health care, is this way. Is a horrible monstrosity that makes lives hell. Why don't you let them make the choices?
Well,
let them have the market.
My oldest friend on Capitol Hill is Max Baucus, who's now the ambassador to China, who had this bill for 3 years. He worked very hard day and night. It was not cobbled together on the last day of December. It had the fundamentals of the bill were there. They threw some things in there they shouldn't have. And I've said it could be fixed. There's things that can be done. But, in states that have had the exchanges, insurance rates went up last year 0.5%. Those that didn't, 10 to 20%.
Up on all of them. KG?
Yeah, look, I hope
see.
he gets.
That doesn't work for you, does it?
It did work, Bob. You said
okay,
up
fine.
on all of them.
I hope he does have to testify in front of congressional hearings, because the truth really does need to come out so that the American people can make very wise choices like they did in this last election about who they want in charge of their family, of their money that's coming into their homes, about jobs in the future. This is all connected.
All right, we're going to leave it right there.